Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, following up with my Shop My Stash series. Oh my gosh, there's so many S's. I am going to do my full face of makeup using products that are packaged in silver. Now this is going to be, I think, my fourth video. So I did one in black, I did one in white, I did one in gold, and now we're going silver. So I have a bin full of products right here, and as usual, I'm going to do my full face. I am going to talk through the products and how I use them specifically, and also these products are a mixture of new and old. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop right into the video. I am so happy that it's finally sunny today. It has been raining for the past 3 days or so. So I did not fill in my brows for this video because I figured that the eyeshadow palette that I use has got the shade that I could fill in my brows with. So I'm going to use the Narcissus Wanted eyeshadow palette. Honestly, this is such a good eyeshadow palette. I have taken this with me pretty much every time I travel, and you have just array of good shades. So I'm going to fill in my brows with this shade called Coconut Grove, which is one of their permanent shades in their individual eyeshadow. And as always, I'm going to speed through that process because it takes me a while to do my brows. I'm going to prime my eyes with this Juice Beauty Perfecting Concealer. It is more on the chrome packaging, but I figured I'll just include this as my silver packaging today because it kind of embodies the product. So I'm going to pick up a little bit in my brush and sweep that all over my lid. I'm quickly going to set my lids using this light shade right here from the palette, and that's called Biarritz. So how are you guys have been doing, and what sort of activities have you been doing while in quarantine? And I hope you are staying safe because there's a lot of silly people that still breaks the rules out there. I'm going to use this Flower Beauty eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to quickly apply this shade right here as a transition shade. I'm just gonna do like a wash of color all over my lids. And I have a big pimple right there. It came out of nowhere. I want to use the warm shades in this eyeshadow palette because typically I only gravitate towards the bronzy shade and also the more neutral shade, whereas today I'm feeling a little bit on the warm side. I am going to pick up this Real Techniques brush right here. I seriously love this because it's flat, but it has the taper where you can blend with it as well. So I'm going to use this warm shade right here called Temptress. I've never used the eyeshadow before. And I'm going to bring that towards the inner corner, staying on the crease, and mainly focus that on the outer V. And I'm going to go back to that transition shade that we used just to blend this inner part right here. And then the remainder of the product, I'm going to blend it on top of the shadow that we put down. And now we are going to move on. This shade right here, that's called Wicked Game. And I'm going to use my finger to apply that shade. Now that's on there, I am going to go back to that Real Techniques brush and buff the red shade, the matte shade that we use, so we can blend the two shades together. And I really want that red to pop, so I'm going to pick up this shade right here called Shooting Star, and that has more of like a glitter flex to it, and I'm going to pat that on top to make the red pop a little bit more. And I'm going to go back to that red shade and blend it all together. So then I am going to just quickly apply my mascara and tight line, and then we'll do the rest of the face. The eyes is looking so pretty and sultry. So now I am going to pop a little bit of foundation, and for foundation today I am going to use the Juice Beauty Phyto Pigment Flawless Foundation. Now this is going to be a little bit too light for my skin tone, but it's fine, we can make it work. I think I have a bronzer that I could use to bronze it up. So this foundation right here, I did a first impression on. I find that the formula is a little bit weird, like it's so watery, so it is going to be best applied using a sponge, because I find that with the foundation brush it kind of leaves streaks, and also it kind of lifts the foundation as well, and it doesn't stick that well. Coverage wise though it's nice, and it kind of looks very natural on my skin, like it makes my skin looks better. Since it's water based, it kind of sinks into the skin, and if you have oily skin, I probably would recommend this foundation because it doesn't have that like greasiness to it where you could definitely feel that it's gonna get oily throughout the day. Longevity wise though, it doesn't last as good as any of my conventional foundations, just because I feel like it's not really built for long wear. It's more so like a quick fix. And also their marketing, I feel like, is geared more towards mature women, because it's pretty much all about anti-aging, skincare, and the foundation, all that kind of stuff. So now I'm going to use this Juice Beauty Phyto Pigment Concealer. I find that with this concealer, you really have to work the product in and then tap it in onto your arms to get the coverage, because it can tend to get quite drying. So I'm going to just push the product with my finger and then blend it out with a sponge. And also I find that you have to apply this sparingly, because if you apply a huge chunk, it will cake up underneath your eyes real quick, since it's a very thick formula. And also I added a little bit of wing liner to my eyes, just a little bit, because I want the shape of my eye to be enhanced. For powder, I have the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter powder in the shade Banana. I don't think it's silver. Is it silver? It kind of has a little bit of rose gold to it, but I would probably classify it as silver. Use my sponge to set my face, which is what I've been doing, because I find that the sponge helps to soak up the excess product as well as create that flawless finish, because instead of brushing it off, it pushes the product in. And I do this with pressed powder as well. I just like to use a sponge. Oh, and recently I discovered this guy called Juno Birch, and she's so stunning. Like, she says stunning every time, and I feel like it's kind of stuck on me now. Like, I want to look stunning. Anyway, she's a UK based transgender, and she does drag, and she's known as a alien drag queen, and she's so beautiful. For bronzer today, I am going to use the Jouer, what's this called? Sunswept bronzer, and this is in medium to deep duo. I have Sunkissed and Sunset. This has got a little bit of shimmer to it, but it doesn't really show up on the skin, and I find that it gives me a nice bronze. So what I like to do is to just mix the two together, and it gives me a nice, very healthy sun-kissed glow. And we need this bronzer to give color to our face, because the foundation is a little bit like ashy on my skin tone, so I need a little bit of warmth to kind of compensate for that. And for blush, again, another Jouer product. This is the Blush Duo, and this is in Adore. So I have two shades as well. This is Hold Me and then Adore Me. As always, I like to mix in the two and just pat that along the temples and work my way down to the apples of the cheek. On camera, it kind of looks washed out, but I promise you I applied a lot already. So I think I'm going to clean up a little bit on my jawline area. So I'm going to grab the Fenty Beauty powder once again, and it came with this teeny tiny puff, and I'll just use whatever is on that puff, which basically does nothing, and use my sponge to kind of just dab underneath the cheekbone. Another kind of luminous powder that I have is from XO Beauty, and this is her Radiant Glow highlight powder in the shade Lucent, and the packaging is straight up silver. I think this is another product that kind of sparked this idea as well. It's a little bit bulky. I think that's why I don't use it as much, but this is what it looks like, and it will just add like a teeny tiny bit of glow to your skin. Like you could use this as an highlighter, but it's not gonna be like extreme highlight. So I'm actually going to apply a little bit of that underneath my eye, because that concealer is a little bit drying. And for my actual highlighter, I have this Physicians Formula Butter highlighter, and this one is in the shade Champagne. I did a full face of Physicians Formula, and I love every single one that I've tried. I do wish that they would extend their foundation range though, because the ones that they have on iHerb is not the greatest. It's a nice champagne gold highlight. We want that highlight. Oh my gosh, and it smells so good. Oh, stunning. Oh my gosh, I can't get sorry. And for lips today, another XO Beauty product. I don't want to use Sudity because that's more of like a brown tone nude. So I'm going to use this shade called Mudita, which is more rosy pink shade. I'm going to line my lips with the Marc Jacobs Nudist liner, which I've had for ages, but it never completely runs out, because I don't use a lot of lip liners that often. This lip liner is so good. It lasts a really long time. The color is perfect. It's not too brown, not too pink against my lips, and it kind of just enhances my lips. And then I have the XO Beauty cream lipstick. So this has got a cream finish, and this one is in the shade Mudita. And before we move on to the finishing touches, I am going to go and grab that red shade from the eyeshadow palette and just apply that on my lower lash line. I'm not gonna do another color because literally that's what I normally do anyway, just one color. And last but not the least, the inner corner highlight, I am going to pick up this shade right here, and that's called Satisfaction. It's not too intense. I want to add a little bit of sparkle, so we're going to go and use Shooting Star. Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my finished makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for your support. Even though my YouTube channel is growing very slowly, I'm still grateful that I still have that much people that are watching me. And yeah, stay safe as always. Just, you know, make sure to wash your hands at all times, and I will catch you on the next video. I might do another addition to this series just so I can make them 5 videos in the series. And let me know if you have any other suggestions. I'm more than happy to do that. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.